Today we're going to try to bring this car back from the dead. Welcome back to another episode of Because Miata. So today I'm working on the exterior of the car. There's a lot of rock chips, scrapes, rust. There's a lot of oxidation on that back vinyl window that needs to get just cleaned up. I've got a lot of plans for this car over the summer, and now that it's officially warm out, I've got to get to work. First things first, I'm going to start off with just a basic wash of the car, and I usually like to do the top-down approach. So I'm going to start off with this convertible top cleaner and just work my way down and eventually get to using just the basic car wash here from Meguiar's. Let's get started. I'm using an abrasive sponge, the kind that you really want to use for cleaning off like tar and bug splatter that's on the car. But this will really get down into the griminess of that soft top and get all that dirt out. It's already turning black here where I was rubbing it. So if you're impatient like me and you spent hundreds on an air compressor, then you're going to find any and every excuse to use it. I'm going to use this touch-up paint that I got from scratchwizard.net in Montego Blue to help fix up this old scratched up rock chipped car. try to spray paint these and it'll look brand new. The first step to take off the wiper arms is to pop the hood, and that'll give you access to these little covers right here. This takes a 12 millimeter. Another quick tip, if you don't want to buy new blades for your wiper arms, you can just clean them with denatured alcohol, and that'll clean them almost to the point of being new, as long as they're not too old and worn out. If there's rips in them or cracks from the cold weather, then you do need to replace them, but if they're just dirty, clean them. So it's the very next day. I ran out of time yesterday, and wouldn't you know it, it's been raining ever since. So I am going to find another time to work on the car. Hopefully the rain will clear later today and we'll go from there. Welcome back to day 3 of the exterior cleanup here. It rained all day yesterday, so I don't know what to say. Willie Nelson, John Cougar Mellencamp, if you're watching this, next time there's a drought, you don't need to hold a farm-aid music concert. You need to host a car wash. Guaranteed rain. I'm gonna try to clean up this plastic window here. Looks like a lot of this is on the inside. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean up both exterior and interior of this plastic window. The product I'm going to be using today is Meguiar's Plastics. I've had good results from this in the past, so let's go try it now. So the way I've always done this is put a small amount on a cloth and just kind of rub it in. And I usually do straight lines on the window, which is not really what you would do for waxing a car. Usually you do a circular motion. But for this back window, I've always done straight lines, and it does a pretty good job. Generally just want to let it dry to a haze, and then you just wipe it off with a clean towel, just kind of like waxing your car. You don't want to let it dry too long, just to where it gets a light haze, and wipe it clean. Just did the outside, and now I'm going to do the inside where it's got the most oxidation here. You see where it's brown at the bottom. I don't know if this is going to get any of this off, but we'll try. So for now, I think this window is going to be an ongoing procedure. I've been scrubbing this with several different types of rubbing compounds, and it's just caked on there. It's been baking in the sun like that for a while, and I'm not quite sure what else I can use to get it off. But it does seem to get better and lighten every time I do it. So I think it's just going to be, like I said, ongoing over the next few weeks. Whenever I have time, come out here and scrub on it some more. But I'll keep you up to date with the progress on that. So I don't know if you can see that, but there used to be a huge dent right here, and it's still a pretty significant sized dent, but I think I'm going to try to heat it up and pop out what I can, and whatever I can't finish, I'll probably take it in someplace for maybe a PDR treatment. A little bit more came out. Still not perfect. I'll probably end up taking it into a repair shop just to have some paintless dent repair done. There's a couple other spots on the car that I could have them take a look at as well, but it's okay. The next thing I'm going to tackle are the front and rear license plate frames. As you can see, quite a bit of rust. Even these metal screws holding them in have rusted over, and you see the run down onto the plate itself. One thing I wanted to note for all you guys that are required in your state to have a front license plate, if you look on the back here, you'll see that I put some rubber caps on the back of the screws. And what that does is that protects your bumper when you're going down the highway and the wind is blowing on this. You know, it can scratch your bumper. And I've also seen a pretty common thing with Miatas. If you ever see a front bumper that has little dimples in the bumper, that is because of the screws pushing in, whether you're, you know, street parking and pressing up against something, or just going down the highway and the wind pushing it back. So if you got a front plate and you don't have these rubber caps, I would recommend that you try to find something like that to put on there just to protect your bumper. The rear plate isn't as bad as the front. It definitely does have its rust issues, but you know, it's protected back here from a lot of rain and weather, so it's not quite as bad. One thing I'm going to do to try to minimize the rust is replace all the bolts with nylon. Since they're plastic, they won't rust. I'm going to try to use a little bit of CLR to see if I can clean some of the rust off of this front plate here. So the car's looking a little bit better now. The whole point to this video was really just to clean up some of the exterior imperfections that I was seeing, and it wasn't really meant to be a detail of the exterior. That's a video for another time. So I am going to keep cleaning on this, and eventually I will polish and wax it. But yeah, just really wanted to clean up a lot of the paint scratches and the rock chips and the faded paint that I was seeing on some of the parts. I still need to do some more work on this window. It is a lot better, but there's still definitely some brown oxidation there, and that may just be part of the plastic breaking down. You know, like on our factory radiators, those plastic radiators, they turn brown when the plastic just gets to a certain age, and the components of the material starts to break down. That's when you start seeing leaks and whatnot. I was rubbing pretty hard on this, and I'm feeling a little bit of some cracking down here, so I'm afraid that this will probably more than likely need to get replaced. So if you've watched this far, I appreciate it, and if you like the video, make sure you hit that like button. If you want to see future videos, you got to subscribe. We've got these bad boys coming in the next video. We'll probably install these in the next video. Anyone want to guess what rims